Hey, hi all, good afternoon. So in the previous class, we have discussed about the basics of matrices and determinants and the basic about it, like how to add matrix and how to do matrix multiplications. Okay, so I hope that was clear. Or do you have any question? We have discussed types of matrix and how we can add matrix, subtract matrix, and the scalar multiplication, the matrix multiplications, and all those things. Okay. So in today's class, I want to show you some other real-time examples, applications of it, where it can be used. Okay, so that's all fine. Okay, suppose let's say I have a student table. Let me write it here. Let's say I have a student table here. Okay, and in this table, let's say I have this is the name of the student, and this is the score in mathematics. This is the score in science, and let's say this is the score in English. Okay, means I'm showing you from a sequel perspective, like how we store data. It says student A, student B, and we have a student C. So A has scored, let's say, 85 in mathematics, and in science it is 90, it is 80. Okay, B has scored 70, 75, and this is 65. Similarly, this is 95, this is 100, and let's say this is 90. So this is the typical table from SQL perspective, where these are the columns, right? I think you all have studied SQL, right? So in SQL, like these are the columns we have, correct? And these are the rows, right? Just give me 1 minute, just one. So these are the columns. Name is a column, maths is a column, science is a column, English is a column. Okay. And these are the rows like A 85, 90. This is one row. B 70, 75, 65. This is another row. Like in a typical SQL table, we store data in this format, right? You all know that's correct. Now, suppose, and if we have to represent this in terms of matrix, I'm under the impression that whatever I have covered about matrix in the last class, you all are comfortable with it, you know it. If you have any question, please stop me there and ask. Matrix is very important, especially in your neural networks. Okay. So if you have not revised or you're not clear with that, let me know. Okay. So this is a typical example of a student, and here we have these are the columns, and this is the marks scored by each and every student. Okay. Now, if I have to represent this in terms of matrix, so how I will write? I will write this as 85, 90, 80, 70, 75, 65, and this is 95, 100, 90. So in matrix format, if I have to represent, so I will tell like this is the corresponding matrix for it. And I will write here, let's give any name to this. Let's say A or X or Y, anything. If I'm writing A here, you should not think that, oh, this is the A of this is student A. No, I'm just giving name to this matrix. You can give any name, A, B, C, D, P, Q, R, whatever you want. So same table which you have in SQL, And if you want to translate it or if you want to represent this in matrix form, so we have to represent this in this format. And that's the reason we we have that matrix and determinants in the data science. Is this clear? Okay. Now here, each and every row, like this row and this row and this row, whatever you have, these are known as observations. Now here is the difference between this and SQL. These are known as observations. This is the observation. If I'm talking about this one, so this is the observation of which student?
A.
A. Similarly, this is the observation of which student?
B.
B. Correct. And this is the observation of C. Got it? So when you're representing something in matrix format, we just represent the observations. Or you can also tell we just represent that fact data. If you have studied dimension and facts or the dimension table and the fact tables, so these are the in fact tables. What we used to do, we store the transactional data, correct? And in the dimension table, we store the indicative information about an entity. Now, see, one thing I want to tell you. So in data science, it's like when I was teaching SQL. So there I was very uh, focused on the SQL concepts only. Okay. But in data science, it is difficult one for me to focus only on mathematics because I have to explain you from that real-time application. So what will happen? Sometimes I have to give you the example of SQL. Sometimes I have to give you the example of ETL, the database, data warehouse. It's very difficult to segregate these things here. So if you have any question in any topic, you have to ask. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
Fact
Amir.
table and dimension table, I'm not aware about.
Which one, Amir?
Fact table and dimension table.
Acha, you are not clear with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So let me first explain that what is fact and dimension. Good question. First of all, we'll discuss what fact and dimension. Suppose, uh, let's take the example of Amazon database. We all are purchasing something from Amazon. We used to do transaction there, right? Okay.
Right.
Suppose, let's say I will take the example of Amir you only. So when Amir will open an account in the Amazon database, open an account means when you will log into the app, you will give your email ID, your mobile number, and all those things, right? And they ask many other details. Or let's take the example of any banking application that is more realistic. Suppose if I have to open an account, let's say in HDFC Bank, so what will happen? What is the first step? They will ask my name, correct?
Right.
My date of birth, my address, mobile number, email ID, right?
Right.
And maybe I think they ask qualification as well. Not sure, right? So these are the basic details they will ask. And then very important, your SSN number, maybe Aadhaar card, PAN card. These are the very basic things they will ask, right? And once you have opened the bank, so suppose let's take my example. So then we like say date of birth, anything. I will give something like and then address, mobile numbers and number I will give, and some email ID, qualification, and all those things. Okay. Now suppose the account has been created. So what will happen? In the HDFC database, they'll make one entry for me. Yes or no? है ना?
Yes. Yes.
They'll make one entry in the database on my name. And then they will give some customer ID and some other things, right? Now suppose from the next day I started doing transaction. So suppose let's say on 15th December, I have deposited 10,000 rupees. Okay. Now 18th December, again credit 5,000 rupees. Let's say 25th December, I have debited, let's say, 2000 rupees. So in a typical bank transaction, this is what happens, no? Credit, debit, credit, debit, credit, debit, right? And if you remember that cumulative sum example of the window functions which I have covered there, I have shown you how to find the net balance based on this only, correct? So generally what happens, so the bank, the database who is managing it, the data engineers, the analysts, what they will do, they will create a separate table. And in that table, they will store this information. Okay. These are known as indicative data. These are known as indicative data. So indicative data of any customer, they store in a separate table. And that is known as dimension table. I'm not telling you from any project perspective. I'm teaching you the general concepts of dimension and fact. Now, what all transactions I'm doing on a daily basis, they will keep that in a fact table. Now, again, there is a separate topic of discussion. Kitanvir, why? Why they are keeping this transactions data in the fact table? Why they cannot create two, three columns here and they can store the same thing here? Then I have to enter the world of normalization. Okay, and then we will distract from the topic. Okay, so maybe if you guys are interested, I can take some ad hoc session and I can discuss in detail. Okay, so for the time being, just understand the indicative data, I mean like the personal data. Okay, the social security number, the mobile number, and all those things we store in a separate table that is known as dimension table. Okay, and the transactional data are stored in a separate table that is known as fact table. And the reason for this is very interesting, but it will take a lot of time, at least 1 hour to explain. क्यों ऐसा करते हैं? Okay. So maybe if you guys are interested, we'll take a separate session. I will explain you. Is this point clear at a high level, Amir? What's the
Yes, it's
dimension
clear.
table? What's the fact table? Okay, good.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you have asked. So I need same response from everyone. If something is not clear, you have to ask, guys. Otherwise, you will suffer. Okay, I'm taking this course out of my interest actually because maths is my favorite subject, and I thought that most of you are interested in data science, but the basics you struggle with it. Not only data science, in data analyst as well. I have seen many in my project, they struggle. They don't know the formula of percentage, compound interest, simple interest, transfer pricing fees, how to find the realization amount, how to check the standard deviation. So then they struggle a lot. So that's why these things are basic you should know. So that's what here I'm trying to explain you. We have a student table, we have this columns, and these are the data. Same thing if I have to represent in matrix format. So this is a matrix. I'm sure you all must have studied this in the standard 11th or 12th. In CBSE board it is there. I think in each and every board it is there. So what I was telling, like when I have to display this in matrix format, how many rows this matrix has?
3 rows.
3 rows, correct. So when we display data or when we represent data in matrix format, we represent only the observations. Okay. And this observations is actually a mathematically derived word. It has nothing to do from the technical world or programming world. If I have to answer in the technical or the ETL perspective, I will tell the fact data are stored in the matrix. Or in a more layman term, the transactional data are stored in the matrix format. So is this clear why we are studying matrix? Little bit कुछ समझ में आया? Okay. Now, do I have columns here? Do I have columns here?
Yes.
But it is not visible, no? Right. You can ask question. Then we can understand like this first column is the data of math. Second column is the data of science. third column is the data of English. So we have seen this format, Tanvir, so we can understand. But for a third party who doesn't know this format, the student table format, how they will understand what is there in the first column, second column, and third column, right? Correct?
Right.
So actually, whatever you are doing in matrix, that is used for the calculation purpose. We are not going to show this to client, or we are not going to show this on Power BI report. Got it? This is just for the calculation purpose. If you remember, when you were appearing for 10th standard mathematics paper, so you will be given one separate rough paper in which you have to do rough calculations, right? And it is your wish. You can do any calculation there, whether the examiner will understand or not. Correct? The same is the purpose of matrix. This is for my purpose. I don't have to represent this to anyone so that they should understand what is present here or there. But that is why we don't mention the different columns. That is why in matrix we used to represent the crux, the main data. So far, is this clear?
Yes,
Okay.
it's
Now, is there any limitation on the number of rows and columns in a matrix? Who will answer?
I don't think so.
There is no restriction on. अच्छा पहले तो यार एक बात sorry. First of all, tell me one thing. Be honest. How many of you remember what you studied in matrix? I know it's long back. We studied 10 years, 15 years. I know that. So there's no shame if you're admitting, okay, Tanvir, I forgot.
I don't remember,
Just
but I am revising matrices. Okay.
Okay. You are a human being. If you have, if you don't remember, that is normal human behavior. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
just
I'm
remember.
revising the concepts. I'm revising the concepts.
Okay, you're revising. Yes, Rajput, Shailesh Kumar.
Yeah, I'm saying just remember though that we had this square
Once upon a
brackets
time.
number, and then we were matching them. Even I was good in maths in 12th standard, but
अच्छा
now I don't
हाँ long
remember
back
anything.
long back long back वही मैं कह रहा हूँ कि any normal human being will forget it right but कुछ तो याद आ रहा होगा यार once upon a
Yes,
time ऐसा
yes.
कुछ पढ़ा करते थे एनसीईआरटी
Yeah,
में
yeah,
आर एस
things
अग्रवाल
are
आर डी
coming,
शर्मा
getting. It's
right
not like
हाँ
we are not getting anything. Okay.
हाँ या obviously तो पाइपलाइन अब ऑन हो गया होगा मींस यू आर गेटिंग स्लोली कुछ तो आ
The
रहा है
differentiation and integration and all, there were things
हाँ
along with that. You had this
करेक्ट
also.
करेक्ट
Yeah.
करेक्ट 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 तो करेंगे वो सब ओके so that's what I thought ki let's start from the basics but at the same time I will try to show you in the real time use cases otherwise फिर आपको लगेगा कि यार ये तो 12th का वो boring chapter start हो गया okay but now you will realize oh why we studied matrix at that time why we were doing differentiation at that time okay so fine I will try to keep it from scratch only but just a request if something is not clear you have to ask okay so the rows will represent the data of each and every what you can say like identity. So the first row is showing the data of the student A, second row is showing data of student B, third row is showing data of student C. Now this I am showing you from a student perspective just to keep the thing simple. Okay. If you're considering same from any e-commerce perspective, like Amazon perspective or Flipkart perspective, you can think there's different subjects which I have mentioned here as a different department. Let's say this is the uh, let me show you here. Oh, sorry. Uh, 1 minute. Let's say this is sports. This is clothes. And this is electronics. Let's say they have different departments. Okay. And this is from Delhi. This is of Chennai. So it is 100, it is 500, it is 400, this is 300, this is 200, this is 150. Maybe these numbers are in thousands. Okay. If someone will ask me, then we represent this in matrix. So how you can represent? I will write 100 here. 500 here, 400 here, 300, 200, 150. So this is the representation of the same data in matrix format. All this is clear? Okay. Now, suppose here, in this example or this example, let's say the first student example, sometimes it happens, no, in CBSE, rare, I know that is the rarest of the rare scenario, but it happens. Okay, because of some questions which was not in the syllabus, it happens okay, they will give you some grace marks. Okay. So in that case, suppose it has been decided okay, grace marks of 5 will be given to each and every student. Okay, and each and every subject. Okay. So what is the question? Question is 1 minute, yaar, it's gonna just a minute. Now the question is 5 bonus marks to each student. Sorry, I have a very bad handwriting. In each subject. Okay. So this has been decided. Okay, 5 bonus marks has to be given to each student in each subject. Now what you will do for this? In the same matrix which you have created here, what you will do? You have to add plus 5 to each one of them. 85 plus 5, 90 plus 5, 80 plus 5, like this, right? Got it? And then you will get a new matrix. So let's say here, if I will add 5 to each one of them. अच्छा यहाँ पर ये है. Just a minute here. करना पड़ेगा. तो काफी टाइम लग जाएगा erase करने में. There's a rectangular box I can use to erase. It will take time for me to get accustomed to this. Okay. So now here, if I have to add 5 bonus marks to each one of them, so what I will do? Here I can write this equals to 85 plus 5, right? 90 plus 5, 80 plus 5. Similarly, I have to do for this as well, right? 65 plus 5, 55 plus 5, 100 plus 5, 95, 90 plus 5. So then I will get a new matrix, right? And if you remember in the previous class, same thing I have covered. Okay, in matrix, if you have to add something, okay, here I'm showing you addition of 2 matrices. But if you have to add something that has to be added in each and every value, and that's what I'm showing you here. Okay, now you'll get a new matrix. Hope this is clear. Okay.
Yes, it's clear.
And if you take the example from the company perspective, let's say this is the salary. This is showing the salary of each and every department, technology, HR, sales. Now they have to give certain bonus. So they will give bonus to each and every employee, right? So it means they have to add that particular value to each and every employee. Now the same thing, if I have to represent from Python perspective, let me show you that if it is open. Just a minute. Can you see this Jupyter notebook?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So now I want to show you the same thing if you have to do from Python perspective, how you can do it. I'm not sure how many of you know Python. I will not go in that detail, but little bit I will explain you. I will write here import numpy as np. Numpy is a library in Python. I write here a equals numpy dot array. So I'm creating an array here, and let's say the values are 85, comma 90, comma 80. I think these are the values, and then we can write another one, and then we have the another one. Let's say this is 70, comma 75, comma 65. Okay, and then we have this 95, comma 100, comma 90. So here I'm trying to create a matrix A. Okay, now let me show you this. So I write print A. So you're getting this matrix now, correct? Same thing which I have shown you here. So now this Python has created for you. Is this clear? This one. Got it?
Could you please show the Jupyter notebook again?
Yes, please.
Okay, print. Yeah, fine.
So this NumPy is a library, very famous library. You might have heard about pandas, NumPy. This is a very famous library in data science and data analyst. So see, I will not go into that in depth. Okay, what is this Python? What is this library and how it is doing all these things? Just I'm trying to prove you, okay, the same thing you can do with the help of Python as well. And that is why Python is a very mandatory skill set these days if you want to work as a data analyst or data science field. Okay. I'm printing A, it is showing me that yes, I have this particular matrix. This is clear. Now coming to our problem statement, our client has told to add 5 to each one of these values. So if I have to do same thing in Python, what I will do, I will write A underscore new. Suppose this is a new matrix. You can give any name to this. I've just given A underscore new. Your wish, you can give any name. I will just write A plus 5. Now check the value. Print A new. Verify. Do you think 5 has been added to each one of them?
Yes.
Yes. That is why if you know Python, it will ease your task of data analysis. The same thing if you have to do with the help of SQL. Maybe it will be very difficult. Okay. But Python, you can do it easily. Same thing if you have to do in any other languages like C or
Java,
Java.
very difficult. Very difficult.
Very difficult. Then you have to create that for loop, the nested for loop. Then it would iterate over each row and all those things, right? So this is the benefit of library in Python. This is a library. So it knows what to do. But in other programming language, you have to give that intelligence. "Acha, ye karna hai," you have to do all these steps. But here, this Python libraries, they have the intelligence what to do. And that's why I've just written this. And it knows, oh, kya karna hai. It has given this output.
So
Hope this is
Tanvir,
clear. Yeah,
so basically what we are learning in the math, that is, Python is already smart that it knows
correct,
what it have to do. But we are learning what internally it is doing it. That's what we are
correct,
learning, right?
correct,
This
correct.
maths.
That's what I'm teaching you. And the intention of this course is, okay, first point is I've covered all these things in the demo class. The first point is data science is going to be the future. I think you all will agree with me.
Yep.
And there is a hype तो नहीं कह सकते हैं. It is proving AI/ML is going to be the future technology, right? Tech stack, most of the projects in the IT industry will be based on that only. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, actually AI/ML is not something new. Okay. AI/ML cannot work if you don't have ETL.
Yeah, without
Got
data,
it?
it won't be possible.
Without data, it's only possible, right? So you need data. You need to feed good quality of data. Then your AI or ML models will work. And for that, these
Right.
are the basics which you should know: SQL, Python, ETL, mathematics, statistics. Then only you will learn that. Many people think, "Acha, AI is something new." अरे कुछ नया नहीं है. This is not new. ये वही पुराना है. Old product in a new wrapper. Okay. With
But means
बस वही है.
earlier the computing availability and data availability was not so much okay.
Hmm. Now
So
it is
that's
increasing like anything, right?
yeah, means last 5 to 8 years means it has increased like means in the last
Hmm.
40 years whatever data we have generated we generated in the last 5 to 10 years.
Right. So that is why now the industry is looking for the data specialist who has soft corner for mathematics and knows how to play with the data. Actually, I can tell there is scarcity of good data analysts and data scientists. Anyway, let me come back to the topic. I have many other topics to cover
One
today.
one
Yeah, tell me.
question,
Yeah.
Tanvir. So
Mhm.
what I'm trying to ask is if the scripting, if any scripting or programming is already having this, these libraries are having already having the intelligence. Is it
Hmm.
required for us to know, like when we talk about data science, do we need
Hmm.
to be worried about this math part, which will be taken care by the programming? Just
If
a
you,
curiosity to ask this. Yeah.
oh, no, no, valid question, valid question. Okay, Tanvir, whatever you're teaching here, you taught us okay, this has to be added by five and all those things, and this is the process, right?
Yeah.
But Tanvir, this thing you have shown that your Python is doing this, right? Then why we should know mathematics, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
you
should understand.
have 1 minute, hold on. You have to instruct to the Python, no, कि what you want. वो तो आपको बताना पड़ेगा ना. And that you will tell to Python only if you know the significance of each and every concepts. तभी तो आप बताओगे, then only you can tell to Python what to do. I'm not
Mhm.
telling here कि you have to do all those calculations. You're not going to be an accountant or clerk, right? But you should know when I have to use matrix addition, when I have to use matrix multiplication, right? Then that thing you will tell to Python and Python will do that for you. But before that, you should know that the matrix multiplication क्या है, what is the real-time application, where I can use that in neural networks, or where I can use that in machine learning models, how it will help in deciding the weight for a particular input parameters, right?
Yeah.
That is why I thought of explaining all these things कि आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि where which one to use. Got it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Sure.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. Good. Now, so just I have explained two things here. Okay. What is the real-time use case of matrix? So with the help of the simple example, I've tried explaining it, and then just a small calculation I have shown you. Okay, let's say you have to add certain value to this. So from the mathematics calculation perspective, this is what we used to do, and we have done this when we were in 12th standard, right? At the same time, I'm telling you, yes, this can be solved very easily with the help of Python and the Python code I have shown you. Very simple one. Okay. Now, next scenario. Then we have a matrix multiplication as well. Let me go to that now. New example. Okay, now this part is complex a little bit, okay? So I need full concentration here. There is a concept of matrix multiplications. And when I was taking class, when I was teaching this in the last class, then also many of you have this question. And I told you, okay, first let me cover this, then I will explain you the application of it. Matrix multiplication. Suppose I have a matrix X and the value is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the value X, okay? Now I have another matrix, let's say W, and this is, let's say, 0.5, 1, minus 0.5, 2. This is another matrix. One more point. There is no restriction on the number of columns and rows in a matrix. You Hello, I'm audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
audible.
now you are audible.
Okay, sorry. So I was telling in this matrix X, how many rows you have?
Rows are
Three.
three.
And how many
Three,
columns you have?
Two.
two.
So we will tell that this matrix X is a 3 by 2 matrix. It is also represented as 3 by 2. If I will ask you how many rows you have in matrix W,
Two rows and
2
two columns.
and 2 columns. So this is a 2 by 2 matrix. So there is no restriction on the number of rows and columns in a matrix. Is this point clear? You cannot tell here, Tanvir, in this you have 3 rows, but here you have only 2 rows. My wish, purely my wish. My wish means based on the business requirement. Is this point clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Now suppose I have to derive a matrix Y, which should be the multiplication of X and W. Okay. And this is known as matrix multiplication. I will tell you down the line why we are doing matrix multiplication, what is the use case. But before that, first of all, try to understand what is this. Okay. See, if I have to multiply X with W, so in matrix X, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And in matrix W, what I have? 0 0.5, 1, minus 0 0.5, and 2. Now we have to multiply these two matrices. Now the question is, what is the meaning of matrix multiplication? How to do this? See, एक मिनट यार, कलर थोड़ा चेंज करना पड़ेगा. Matrix multiplication means the first row from here will be multiplied with the first column from here. Okay. So this one has to be multiplied with 0 0.5. So I will write here. मेरे को change करने दो color. So I will write here 1 into 0 0.5. This first element 1 will be multiplied with this, multiplied by this first element 0 0.5. Then plus sign, and this 2 has to be multiplied by minus 0 0.5. Now see, one thing I will tell you guys. When you are doing analysis, sometimes it is not necessary always you'll be having access to Python and Jupyter notebook and you'll be having that much time. You will create this matrix and you will execute it. Sometimes maybe manually you have to do all these operations. So that is why you should know both the things. Okay. So 1 into 0 0.5, then plus sign 2 into minus 0 0.5. Is this clear first of all?
Yes, clear.
Sheetal, Ankit, everyone, ये clear है?
Clear.
Okay. But the story is not over here. Then this 1, 2 will be multiplied with the second column as well. So then now you guys have to tell me what you will get.
1 into 1 plus 2 into 2.
Sorry. 1 into 1 plus
2
2
into
into
2.
2. Is this clear? Now similarly, the second one. Now this row will multiply with the first column. So it will be 3 into 0 0.5 plus 4 into minus 0 0.5. Then 3 into 1 plus 4 into 2. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. Then same thing you have to repeat for the last row, 5 and 6. It will become 5 into 0.5 plus 6 into minus 0.5, 5 into 1 plus 6 into 2. So this is a matrix you will get after performing the x is x multiplied by matrix W. This is the output. Then you have to do basic mathematics calculation. 1 into 0.5 will be 0.5. Then plus minus minus 2 into 0.5 will be minus 1. So 0.5 minus 1 will give minus 0.5. You have to do all those things. So finally, you will get here minus 0.5. Here you will get 5. Here you will get minus 1. Here you will get 11. Here you will get minus 1.5. Here we get 17. Is this correct? Hope it is clear.
Yes,
So
clear.
this is the output of matrix X and W multiplication. Hope this is clear to everyone. बोलो भाई clear कि नहीं यहाँ तक?
Yes, clear.
Understood? Okay.
For the first row, is it 0.5?
It is 0.5. This one you're telling, Sheetal?
Yes.
This is minus 0.5.
Okay, minus. Yeah.
Minus
got it.
0.5. सही है
Yeah.
ना? 0.5 into 1 will be 0.5. Plus minus minus 2 into 0.5 will be minus 1.
Yeah.
0.5 minus 1 will be minus 0.5. ठीक है?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is how we do matrix multiplication. Okay. But the story is not over here. There are many other properties of matrix multiplication. I will come to that. But before that, now the question is, tell me, okay, it is fine. We understood like this is a matrix multiplication, but what is the use case, right? From data science perspective, where we use this, correct? So for that, I have to tell you one story. Tell me one thing, the price of any building or apartment, how it is decided?
Based on the apartment area.
How's your flat? Area means how far it is from the main city, right? That also matters, right?
Yes, yes. The location.
Location. So I can tell distance to the
Connectivity.
city center, right? That's an important factor, right? Like
Right.
in Bangalore, this is if you will buy a flat near to airport, it's very cheap as compared to you have an HSR layout or Pura Mangla or wherever it may be, right? Because it is away from the city, correct?
Correct.
So the price of a house or flat, it depends how far it is from the city center. You all agree?
Agreed.
Okay. Listen to this very carefully. I'm directly jumping to machine learning models now. Now, second thing, can it tell it depends on the size of the flat,
Yeah, floor area.
floor area? Maybe this can be in a square feet or whatever it may be. But one thing is clear, it depends on the size as well, right? Then it also depends on the number of bedrooms. है ना?
Right. Right.
Many other parameters are also there, like what all amenities they are giving and many other things. But at a very high level, these are the points which decides the price of a flat. You all agree or not?
Agreed.
Okay, agree. Now, next question. Do you think all these three parameters which we have noted down, and see, I'm telling clearly, okay, this is not the only parameter. Many other things are also responsible, okay? But just considering these three parameters, okay, which decides the price of the house or flat. Next question, think over it, then answer. Do you think these three parameters are equally responsible for the price of a house?
Mm,
Are they equally responsible?
No.
Obviously, no. The distance to the city center, the size of a flat, and the number of bedrooms. It is not necessary that they all have the same impact on the price of a house, right? Sometimes it happens, no, you want to buy a flat. It's a very good area, okay, 2000 square feet, okay, it's a penthouse, but it is little bit 40 kilometers away from the city, okay. So you will think, अच्छा थोड़ा compromise कर लेते हैं, I'm getting a good flat. थोड़ा दूर है तो चलो चलेगा. But some other people, the priority is, no, I want in the city center. I cannot do that much on a daily basis. I cannot do that much to and fro, right? So these all three parameters, they have a different weightage, which decides the price of a flat. Is that clear? So let's say the distance has a weightage 1, size has a weightage 2, and the number of bedrooms has a weightage 3. So this is known as weightage. And if you remember, you might have studied in class 12th or 11th, weighted average. Not sure how many of you studied, but there was a term known as weighted average. Okay. So this is not with a flat. This weightage is an important parameter which decides the price of many things and many real-time applications. Okay, tell me one thing. From 10th to 12th, when you were taking admission in class 12th, sorry, 11th. So in many colleges or schools, they will ask, okay, how much you have scored in science and mathematics. Generally, they ask this too, no? Correct. Rarely you will see they will ask, okay, how much you have scored in, let's say, social science, how much you have scored in Hindi. If you're going for science stream, they will ask you how much you scored in science and mathematics. Why they're asking about science and mathematics only? Because they're giving more weightage to science and mathematics. Got it? Right? So that's why not only the price of a house or flat, in many other things in the real-time application, the weightage depends. Okay? Got it now?
Yes.
So now when I have to decide the flat price of this flat, so what I will do, 1 minute. Now there's a concept of linear regression model. At least you must have heard about it. This is very frequently used in ML models, linear regression model, and this I will use to predict the price. And this is a very simple formula. So based on this model, I will write the price of this flat should be W1 into X1 plus W2 into X2 plus W3 into X3 plus, let's say, any constant B. So this is known as the basic of linear regression model. Why I have derived this? Because the distance to the city center, okay, let's say I have certain value for it. The distance depends on how I can tell. Okay, 1 minute. Suppose the W1 which I have written weightage, I will give weightage here, let's say 2000. Okay, it means I'm telling, so price increases by 2000 per square feet. Now is it making sense? Okay, so the weightage W1, it means the price increases by no, I cannot give per square feet here, no, per square feet cannot be given here, right? This is the distance, right? So this cannot be per square feet. This has to be
Kilometer or something.
kilometer or something. So I can tell, like, let's say this is uh, 3000 minus. I will tell you why I'm giving minus to it. So the price, okay, it will decrease per kilometer from city. Now you guys tell me why I have written minus here.
Minus because as we move out of the city, the price will decrease.
Very good. As you move out of the city, the more distance the flat is from the city, the price will decrease. Suppose I have seen a 4 BHK flat in Bangalore, the same 4 BHK flat I have seen in Mysore. So obviously in the Bangalore, the price will be more, right? Correct? So that's why we have written minus. So for a particular parameter, if it depreciates the value, we keep it in negative. The weightage will be negative here. Is this clear? क्या ये clear है? Now, suppose to W2 I will write 2000. So what is the meaning of this? So price
Will increase.
will increase. Price increases by 2000 per square feet. Generally, we measure that in square feet, right?
Yes.
So price will increase by 2000 per square feet. Now, number of bedrooms, weightage is 3. So let's say it is how much? Bedroom is an important parameter. Let's say it is 5000. So price will increase or decrease?
Increase.
Increases
Number of rooms.
per bedroom. So now are you understanding why the weightage is an important parameter? Why I've taken the price of a house or flat? Because we all have experienced this, so we know this, right? That's why this weightage matters. Okay. Now, any question before I proceed?
What's B here?
B is a constant. I will come to that. Like, if you remember, like the
Registration
standard,
charges or like that.
you can tell convenience fees or
Okay.
any other charges. Okay. So that I have added here. Okay. Any other question? No.
No.
Okay. Now, let's do a calculation here. Suppose the input features, or I can tell the input parameters. Suppose I went to buy a flat and the X1 value is, let's say, 2000 square feet. So the flat owner told, like, we are charging, or that builder told, we are charging 2000 square feet. Okay. And for bedroom, it is, यार एक मिनट यार मैंने हाँ ठीक है bedroom, I want 3 BHK, and let's say the distance from the city is, let's say, 10 kilometers. Okay. Now W1 what we have taken for a square feet, how much weightage we have given?
Minus square feet, it's 2000.
अच्छा लगता है ना मैंने सब कुछ उल्टा पुल्टा कर दिया. 2000 square feet I have given to a square feet now. So let's keep this one as W1. 1 minute. एक मिनट यार इसको हटाने दो. Sorry, occasionally I'm speaking in Hindi, which I should not do because we have participants from South as well. ठीक है तो sorry, for price decreases per kilometer from CT we have taken W, so X3, so I will take it as W3. Okay. Price increases per square feet, that what I have taken X1, so I will take it as W1, and this is W2. Now if you have to find the price of it, and let's say constant is how much, 10,000. Let me give some constant here, B as 10,000. I'm taking very straight value so that the calculation should be simple. Now, if I have to calculate the price, so what I will do, W1 कितना था यार? अबे यार इसको फिर से लाना पड़ेगा यहाँ पर. W1 was 2000. So I have to do this 2000 into 2000, right? It will become 2000 into 2000 plus W2 was how much? W2 5000. So then it will be 5000. X2 is how much? 3. Then W3 is W3 kitna tha, how much it was?
minus 3000.
Minus 3000. So here it will become minus 3000 into 10 and then a value constant. Now you have to do this calculation. This will become something like how many zeros? 6 zeros. This will be 15,000 and this will be minus plus 10,000. Correct? Now when you will do this calculation, it will come 25 minus 5,000. So you will get how much? 2000, 10,000. No. So I have to do this 1 minute. Okay. So this is how much? 40 millions, no? No, 4 millions. So 4 millions you're performing minus 5,000. So you'll get how much? 3. Yeah, more different calculation again. 0, 4, 0, 5, 9, 0. Something like this you will get, right? Correct? Okay. Anyway, you will get some number, something like this. So this is how the price is calculated. Is this clear? Is this point clear? Yes or no?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Now, what is the real-time application of this? Now I will show you that. Now here, while deriving the price of it, what we have done, we multiplied this with the different parameters. So same thing if I have to do with the help of matrix. So what I will do, I will take these parameters, like what is the price of this? This is 2000 square feet, and this is 3 bedroom, and this is 10 kilometers, right? And then I have to multiply to their weightage, right? So for 2000 square feet, what weightage you are giving here? How much
2000.
weightage you are given?
2000.
2000. For 3 you are given weightage 500, 5000.
5000.
For 10 you are given weightage minus
Minus
3000, right? So now you can multiply this. So this will be multiplied by this, right? Correct. So similarly, then we have to do all those multiplications, right? And then you will find the value. Okay, what is the value you are getting? So this is just one simple example I'm showing you. Okay, this is how this weightage is important because we have to multiply the corresponding values. Is this clear?
clear.
Okay. Now here, if I'll go back to the previous example, the first one which I have shown you here, this one. Now let's try to correlate from this. So here it means this value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the weightages to this. So first of all, to the value 1, I am multiplying with 0.5 because for this one I'm giving weightage 0.5. Then to this 2, this parameter I'm giving weightage minus 0.5. So that is why what I'm doing here, I'm multiplying 1 with 0.5, then 2 with minus 0.5. Now check here what I'm doing. 3 with 0.5, 4 with minus 0.5. Then 5 with 0.5, 6 with minus 0.5. So here, what I'm doing here, I'm multiplying here all these input values, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with this particular weightage. So let's say this is one set of weightage. Then the question is, okay, then why you're multiplying with another weightage, Tanvir? Any idea? If this is the weightage, 0.5 minus 0.5, you multiplied with this, then why you multiplying with 1 and 2? Another weightage as well. Any idea? It is because we want to predict, we want to check if I'm increasing the weightage from 0.5 to 1, and this weightage, if I'm increasing from minus 0.5 to, then what will be the impact? And that is why then we are doing this calculation. And finally, when you have this number here, so then you can see, oh, if the weightage is 0.5 and minus 0.5, I'm, I'm getting this set of values. If the weightage is changed to 1 and 2, I'm getting this set of values. Because the price of a flat which I have shown you, would directly nobody can give weightage to any particular parameters. So that is why a lot of values you have to check. You have to train the model and then you finalize based on the multiple values what you inject and you check the total value. Then you finalize Ketcha. This should be the correct one. And that is why you might have heard in when you create machine learning models. So you have to test it with a lot of values. And actually, this is going to open a new world for the testing folks. And that is known as AI testers. So that's all for today. So today I have tried to explain you okay, why we means what are the use cases of matrix means addition and the multiplication of matrix. Now, any question? If you understood the weightage part, hope you will understand this.
How do we do multiplication in NumPy?
NumPy. Okay. I think we are on time, but if you have asked, I will try to show you this. So in NumPy, if you have to do same, first of all, you have to import NumPy. Okay. And all those things, it will take some time. Okay. But shall we take this in the next class
Yes,
because
sure,
this
sure.
will
Let
take
me
some
try
time.
and I'll come back to you.
Yeah, sure. Any other question, anyone?
Mm, no, sir. Just for that graphy login, sir.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Okay, Shidal, I've asked my admin team. They will get back to you. Actually, he is working on it. Actually, I think what has happened, you have joined through multiple devices, or maybe you have joined from Chrome and then from Edge. That is why it might have happened. Okay, let me stop the recording first. 1 minute.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.